NFT mint where the first 2,000 people who delegated their stake would get whitelisted for the NFT. And I'm pretty sure that the NFT will be worth multiple ETH. And you don't have to pay mint fees if you were on the whitelist. So this would be a huge deal. And yeah, then I figured out that I could delegate 0 L fees because I have 0. And so I delegated 0 L fees. And then I was on the whitelist. But then some people in the Discord figured out, okay, they could delegate 0 L fee and sleep on the whitelist. The guys from the Element Finance, they said, okay, guys, this is not how it's supposed to be. We will fix it. And yeah, now I got deducted from the whitelist, and I will also get denied further access to the whitelist. So yeah, the $50 are just the gas fees I paid for claiming 0 L fees and delegating the 0 L fees. So yeah, I think it's a lesson in not being greedy and not trying to game the system, I guess. But at the end, it's crypto, right? If you see an edge, yeah, just greedy, I guess.
That's insane, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
I can't believe you went through that.
Yeah, the funny thing is that they put up a counter on the website where they said, okay, 2,000 of 2,000 NFT spots are still available, and other people did this as well. So the countdown was going down like 10 NFTs per minute or so. So it went from 1,900 to 1,800 to 1,700 to 1,600, and now you are sitting there, and I got in at let's say 1,500 or so, and now you're sitting there. Okay, other people are gaming the system. I don't want to do it because it feels wrong, but yeah, what if? And yeah, I choose to do it, and yeah, got a slap for it, I guess. No airdrop,
Yeah.
no NFT whitelist allocation, losing $50, losing 4 hours of sleep. So it was the worst Web3 experience I had in years. It was the worst launch ever.
Damn.
You will hear about this launch, I guess, pretty much on the whole Ethereum ecosystem within the next couple of days. It was just horrible.
It sounds like an MMO launch, like the servers go
exactly.
down and then they go up, but then they're like queues, and then they may have a bug,
Yeah.
and then they have to reset back to an earlier
Yeah,
level.
exactly. But plus, every time they reset the server, you have to pay them again for buying the game.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh man.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so I lost sleep, got no airdrop, will get denied access to the NFT, and also lost $50. It was just horrible.
Damn, man. And I'm surprised because Element Finance, they seem like guys who take their time for things.
Yeah.
They are usually heavily audited. They are a pretty slow moving protocol, I would say. So I totally didn't expect these kind of mistakes and things to happen with their launch.
Yeah,
So
they did so many other things that went totally wrong. I could elaborate, but I think I would be talking about it for 20 more minutes. It's just
okay.
It went super wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think happy 20th birthday again. This was my start of the day, so I do feel horrible, and I actually feel sick. I don't know if you feel the same, but if you sleep too little, I really feel sick. It feels like having flu or so, but it's just like feeling sick. So yeah, but nevertheless, it's the 1st of April. So why don't we jump in and give our listeners a quick update on our portfolio in general, and then we start with the topics if you want to.
Yeah, sure. So I just calculated my portfolio right before we did the podcast, and let me see. Compared to last month, it grew by around 19.14%, and it outperformed the TCAP Oracle, so like the CoinGecko, total market cap, by about 8%. So it was was a good month. And my portfolio composition. Let me see what happened. My Illuvium amount increased from 50 to like 53%.
Wow.
ETH stayed, I mean, the price of Illuvium went up, plus there was a whole lot of tokens that that were like hanging because of the hack. So I could see those now basically. So that caused an increase in the percentage. ETH stayed roughly the same, even though I bought more ETH, but my ETH stayed roughly the same. My BTC went down actually, to my surprise, from 38 to 35 and a half. And my stables went up a little bit, but it's still less than 1%. Sol, the rest is roughly the same. My Sol and Albridge are roughly the same percentage.
Many,
So yeah.
sorry, go ahead,
No,
please.
no. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, but maybe this is a separate topic, but with regards to stables, like I'm sure recently I was pretty bullish stables, but like this week, there's been so much news about inflation and bad things happening in the economy and prices are going up. I'm sure you're also noticing it in Germany, right? There's like 12% projected inflation, I believe, for March or for April.
Mm,
So yeah, I just feel bad being in stables at the moment when the inflation is so high.
mm,
So I want to go more, yeah, into risk on, like less risky risk on, basically, like TCAP or BTC or ETH, basically.
mm.
I think it will be better than stables.
Yeah, but your allocation is below 1%, right?
Yeah, it's below 1%. Yeah, still, yeah, yeah.
So I think I like the concept of going a little bit more risk on, but I think you're searching for pennies there, my friend.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're
um,
right. But in
I
my mind,
think,
they are like huge amounts. But
yeah,
in reality, they're pennies of the portfolio.
yeah. I bring this up because I
Hmm.
think that you have more leverage if you think about transitioning your 35 or 38% BTC allocation, which is
Hmm.
quite huge. And if you go a little bit more down the risk curve with this, because I do see better investments than BTC, you know me,
Hmm.
from an Sharpe ratio. And
Hmm.
I think 38% BTC is high, is high, is
I
high.
went down a little bit, from 38 to 35,
Yeah, but
yeah,
still, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You do you, but from an observer point of view
Mm.
from the outside, I think you don't have much leverage to going from, let's say, 0.8% stable to 0.2% stable. I have no idea. I
Yeah.
think you have way more leverage if you go for a walk for an hour and just think about, do I w- might I
Hmm.
want to exchange 5% of my BTC to a basket of Solana, Ethereum, so more along those lines.
Yeah.
Just a thought, just a thought.
Yeah, I can definitely see the scenario like in which this would be a great idea.
Mm,
Um, yeah, it still doesn't feel good. I want to be defensive, relatively speaking, with that because my other part of the portfolio is already super offensive, right? The Illuvium part. So
mm,
yeah, I want to be a little bit more defensive with the other part. Otherwise, I can get totally wrecked.
mm.
But yeah, I mean, I think your advice is good on average. I think it will produce better returns, but it would also produce like in the tails, it can produce worse losses.
Yeah, for sure.
And what about you, Patrick? How did your portfolio evolve?
Um, I have just made two decisions
Hmm.
within the month of March, and I announced basically both on our podcast. So my two decisions I made were that I transitioned roughly 5% of my BTC to ETH. So right now I'm sitting at and I can't tell it exactly because I'm still not up to date with my overall portfolio allocation. But right now I'm sitting at roughly 65% ETH, 25% BTC, 8% stables, and 2% DFI, so DeFi chain. DeFi chain has gone parabolic over the last couple of weeks. It's crazy. They got listed on CoinGecko, and now they are ranked 60 or so, and they are outperforming BTC and ETH like crazy. It's yeah, really impressive. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it on DeFi Llama as well, I think. So yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely on an uptrend.
man, I tell you, DeFi is really an interesting investment case. They are somewhat similar to what Synthetic is trying to do, but so I do know Julian, the CEO of Cake, and he's one of the co-founders of the DeFi chain. I know him quite well, and I could talk more about this in detail, but the TLDR is why I'm actually bullish on DeFi chain is the following. Um, he's he's set up DeFi chain from a structure out of Singapore, where he's setting it up in a way where they have as little legal constraint as possible, because they were launching a company before this company, and this was called 10x, and they lost so much speed by having legal issues. And if you do now take a look at what is synthetics doing, for example, they're moving so slow, and it's almost uh, most of it is due to legal issues because they are just acting from a weird jurisdiction. And if you take a look at DeFi chain, they are pushing out their synthetics. You can mint them, you can borrow, you can leverage farm with them. So they're making really good progress. And yeah, I'm bullish, and I hope that yeah. So I wish that I bought more DeFi a couple of years ago because I started with I guess 0.1% of my allocation in DeFi, and just by the pure nature of growing, it has grown up to 2%. So even within my portfolio, it did a 20x against other cryptos. So yeah, quite impressive, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Considering that you own a lot of ETH and stuff, and that it must have massively outperformed ETH, that's quite
Yeah.
impressive. I'm surprised that you mentioned that they don't have much regulatory issues, because I read that recently Singapore is actually becoming like worse for crypto in terms of regulations, and that
Yeah.
Australia is actually pretty hands off, at least from what I know
Mm.
on the Illuvium side. So I'm surprised that synthetics is hamstrung by regulatory issues, because I think they're probably more hamstrung by the fact that they're a DAO, and they're a little bit slow moving because they take time with their decisions and stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, maybe I haven't dived deep enough into
Mm.
it.
Yeah, I could elaborate, but in regards to time, I will keep it super brief.
Sure.
The DAO is a problem. Also, the technical debt that have built up by synthetic is a burden. And also, the big issue is that um, the part around custodying the assets, and this makes them super slow. But we need to take this into a deeper discussion in one of our upcoming podcasts if you want to.
Sure.
But DeFi is really progressing really fast, and yeah, I like it.
Okay. There's one more thing I wanted to mention with regards to the portfolio part, and
Mm-hmm.
that goes with regards to the Phantom part of my portfolio. So, what I did before is I had 4 assets on Phantom. I had BTC, ETH, MIM, and USDC. And I would put them
Mm-hmm.
in borrow lending protocols, and then use delta neutral yield farming on like Imprimax, Taro, Yearn, and other places to earn, maybe 30% yield, maybe 20, maybe 50, maybe 15. It depends on the
Mm-hmm.
on the day, basically. And I noticed that it was really gas intensive to keep moving around my positions. Also, to shift it from one borrow lending protocol to another, like going from Scream to 100 Finance, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So it got really a huge drag on my time, and also on the performance. So what I decided to do is I I dumped it all basically into Beethoven, and there's a pool called, I think, the classic trio or something, and that is a
Mm-hmm.
pool consisting of 50% Bitcoin, 30% ETH, and 20% USDC, and you get around 14 to 15% APR on that pool in Beats. Um, and yeah, I'm so glad I did this, man. It's so such a relief mentally.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
don't have to
understand.
look at my Phantom position
Yeah,
anymore, basically. So yeah,
yeah,
this is really nice. I just wanted to mention it.
yeah. I totally understand, and I was at a pretty similar point about a month ago or so. This active management part, it's a burden on you, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes, so I think we talked about this 3 or 4 episodes ago of not optimizing purely for APR, but optimizing for lifetime EV.
Hmm.
And I think you may lose a tiny little bit of money, but your lifetime EV increases like 10% or so.
Yeah,
So yeah, I totally understand why you did it, and I think it's a healthy decision. Absolutely.
yes, yes. So definitely, I would advocate for when you are on a chain, don't hold like 50 different assets on a chain, or even four. Like,
Mm,
concentrate it in one or two, and that way you can easily shift it from borrow lending protocol to another, and you
yeah,
don't need to do
exactly.
like 20 approvals and yeah,
Yeah.
basically a lot of transactions. So
Mm,
yeah, I'm really happy with this decision.
yeah.
And also with regards to Beats, that Beethoven has really nice UI, right? And
Yeah, really cool, like Halloween stuff and
yeah, yeah,
so.
they're really cool. But they also have like chart for your portfolio performance, and yeah, yeah, they're a pretty good protocol. So I'm debating whether I should just make my life even easier and just keep their token basically, just keep it unclaimed and wait for like a phantom pump, because there will be another phantom pump in the future at some point. And like in the past, it has moved a lot. And you also have some kind of like curve convex narrative with Beethoven, where people are buying, how do you call it, votes, like votes for Beethoven, just like you have with on what is it called, Saber, basically. You have this on Beethoven as well, so you may even have a little bit of upside on the Beethoven token, even though it's a farm and dump token, so you have to be careful. But I think I'm gonna do this and try it out.
I think it's not a good idea. I think you will lose money, but again, you may lose a little bit of money, but you may win on the lifetime EV stuff. I think you're betting on a situation where the token pumps and
Yeah, I understand. Like usually it's not that good to farm to bet on a farm and dump token.
That's actually one of the worst things I did in regards to yield farming over the last couple of months. And one of my biggest learning is in early, out early in farms, and also farm and dump the shit out of the farming token. You may reach a hype phase, which goes on for 2 to 3 days, but afterwards it's just down only, my friend. And you do you. I wouldn't do it. Maybe set it every 3 days or 4 days, but hodling it for multiple weeks and accumulating.
Yeah, I see your point. I generally don't do this, but this may be the 1 times out of 10 that it's worth it. But yeah, I agree that in general it's not worth it.
Yeah. Okie dokie. We talked a lot about wide range of topics already. I think some of them are in regards to remarkable and exciting things. What about that we transition to remarkable things and just go from there?
Sure.
Okie dokie. So do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Please start.
Okie dokie. I will keep it quite brief. I will mention 2 remarkable things. And the first one is there was this cow airdrop. Cow swap. Have you ever heard about it?
Yeah, it's like an MEV safe swap, right?
Yeah. So from a technical point of view, cow, like the moo, right? The cow moo. It's COW, and COW is actually a really smart name because it stands for coincidence of wants. So let's say someone wants to swap from ETH to DAI, and another person wants to swap from DAI to ETH. Then they match it. So they match basically open orders, and they route them and stuff like this. So they gather everything, and then they come up with the most smart way on how to act on this swap. And I encourage our listeners to take a look at it. There are multiple YouTube videos out there. I won't go into the explanation. But the thing is, why bring it up? They actually had their airdrop, and I was lucky to get an airdrop. And it was so funny. It reminded me like the old airdrop days. So usually the gas prices right now are at roughly 10 to 50 Gwei, right? Roughly. Do you want to take a guess on what happened to the gas prices when the cow token got tradable?
I guess they were above 100 Gwei.
Above 100.
That is my
yeah, that's
guess.
True. Above 100 is correct. Do you want to get a little bit more risky with your...
Oh my god, they were even higher than 100. Okay, they were above 300.
Go ahead.
They were even above 300 Gwei?
Yes.
Oh my god. And you minted it?
Yes.
Phew. Okay, well, I don't know the Gwei, but what was it? 1,000 Gwei?
Go ahead.
Even higher than 1,000 Gwei?
Yep.
What the hell? I didn't know that cow was so,
Cow
popular.
is massive. So it went above 3,000 Gwei.
What?
It was hyped up like crazy, and it felt so awesome. Even though I got a small allocation, it felt like, man, the ecosystem is still alive. People are there. It's just like, we need to be patient. And so it was a super fun event. Everything went super smooth, even though the prices were super high. But the team was active in Discord. They were responsive, the claiming worked, everything was just so smooth, and it was a multi-chain launch. It was launched on Ethereum and on Gnosis chain. And man, if you want to have a playbook on how to launch a token, take a look at them. It was so awesome. So this is a remarkable thing that happened. I don't know if you want to comment on anything, but I have another thing that I would like to bring up. What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, I knew that cow airdrop happened, but I totally didn't notice this, that it was this popular. Like, I thought it was only
Mm,
popular among brainiacs like Hasu and stuff, and the rest
mm.
was
And
too
me.
complicated for most
Don't
people,
forget about me.
and you, of course. And the another thing that I wonder if you what if you want to do a swap and no one matches your amount? Do they do like partial routing and stuff?
Um, that's a good question. Let me think for a second. So I know that there is a time frame you can set it up on your own as a user, where you say, okay, within the first 30 seconds, if you find the best route, go ahead, execute. But if you don't find it within 30 seconds, I think you can force them that they will go on an MMA and swap it there. So you can
I see.
basically tell them how patient you are, and you can set in 20 minutes or so. But after a while, I think they go to an AMM and swap it there.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Man, this product is the best uh, DEX I've seen in all crypto. Absolutely. Better than Uni V2, better than Uni V3. It's just really innovative.
Yeah, man, I need to look at it because I was always put off by the ugly logo. It looks like you know, a cartoon cow. I was like, what kind of degen platform is this?
Yeah,
But I guess it's totally it's totally different, something underneath
yeah.
it.
I, I I thought so first as well. But if you go into the Discord and if you take a look at the whole branding, man, it's just one really cool design, UI, UX, and it's not like, hey, we are the degen cows. It's more like we are the smart cows. And
Okay.
honestly, it may sound dumb, but the Discord is highly intelligent, really responsive. If you read just through one of the Medium articles, you get the gist and you totally change your view about them.
Nice, nice.
They are hosted by Gnosis Chain team, and yeah, the Gnosis team is really good as well. And yeah, good technical engineers. Highly recommended.
Hmm.
Okay, then I will keep it brief with my next topic. I promised someone that I will talk about his project, and it's called Anatoly Cat, and I will keep it brief. So there is this guy on Discord. He is called Bloodbath.soul. So hey, Bloodbath, um, I enjoy your game, and I would like to bring it up real quick because he's also part of the Riptide Hackathon. So they actually launched a game, and you can play the game demo, and they are basically about to mint to give you the option to mint one out of 9,969 cards, and it's a PvP card game. So let's say, for example, right now you can play the demo, and it works like this: you're basically putting together a deck out of 5 cards, and they have different attributes. Let's say let's keep it to a World of Warcraft comparison. You have the warrior, and the warrior has more strength than a mage, for example. And then you go into battle, and you don't see the card that the other person is playing, and you see, okay, I do have a warrior, and he has 5 strength. I would like to go into battle with 5 strength, and then you will compare the strength of your card with the card of the other one. And you could run into a situation where they have, let's say, a feral druid, and a feral druid, let's say, has 6 strength, and so you're getting wrecked and you lose the round. So this is basically how the demo works. And yeah, it's a fun little game. I encourage you, if you want to, please go ahead to the Riptide Hackathon, our dear listeners, and please upvote for our protocol, which is the most important thing you can do basically all day. Go there, type in Netherwave, and upvote for our submission. This will help a lot. But also go ahead and upvote for them, guys, because I think they are cool guys. They are actually really, really responsive within the Solana ecosystem. They helped me out quite a few times on the Solana chat. So Bloodbath, I think you're building something great with your team. It's a fun little game, and I'm excited to see where you're going with it. They will have their game launch in roughly 55 days, so it's more than a pretty simple card game. So yeah, quick shout out to them. This was something remarkable that happened this week, and yeah, just a little fun game, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, cool, nice. And are they all like cats that look like Anatoly Yakovenko, or is it that just
Yeah.
is that the meme?
Yeah, it's like they have an elephant, which is called Satoshi. They have a rat, which is called Vitalik. They have a cat, which is called
Okay.
Anatoly. And I'm blanking on the other 2 points right now. So they have two. Charles. Charles is obviously Charles Hoskinson.
Hmm.
I think he's, I don't know which animal. And I think I'm missing
Maybe
one right now.
Segen Gunseger or Dokwan.
Could be. I'm blanking on it right now. But
Okay.
if you take a look at it, it's just a fun little game. I spent like 10 minutes on it, and yeah, it's just a fun little thing. And I would like to help out other ecosystem
Hmm.
partners. So yeah, just a quick shout out.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Yeah, those were my 2 points. How about you? Do you have anything you would like to bring up?
Yeah, I will also keep it relatively quick. You know Danku R, right? He's someone who
Hmm.
comments on the Luna, yeah, on the Luna token and also on the
He,
Terra ecosystem.
he makes these really impressive presentations all the time, right?
Yeah, he makes really nice
Yeah.
slide decks, and yeah, basically, Do Kwon gave him a shout out because he had a really good tweet thread about how the new Bitcoin implementation works, uh,
Mm.
and I thought it works way differently than I thought it would. So basically, USD is still like fully, convertible into Luna, but the Bitcoin acts as a release valve. So it's a little bit like I'm not sure how to say this, but it's like how do you call it? Maybe a dam or something that we have here in the Netherlands, like to
Mm.
make sure to regulate the channels, basically. So
Mm.
if something overflows, then you use it, and then to drain it a little bit back, and then you bring it back up. So it's like
Mm.
kind of like yeah, recurring. Yeah, I mean you're an engineer, so you know probably these kind of things. They're like recurring systems where you you keep the balance basically. So it
Mm.
is quite interesting, and it's not like you can simply convert your USD into BTC just like you can do with Frax or something. It works totally
Mm.
different. So I just wanted to yeah, give that a shout out. Another thing that I read that was by the Knower, and I think he's like a 17-year-old guy who really became really popular this year or last year in crypto. He really blew up, and I think he's also now part of Paradigm, even though he's still in like high school or something.
Mm.
And he wrote a blog post about the decomposition of attention, and basically on how to let's say you're full time in crypto and you want to spend full time on investing and kind of like trading and investing in the short term, right? So you want to find
Mm.
narratives and you want to invest in them before they become big. And
Mm.
he shows two frameworks that you can use for it. And yeah, I thought they were really interesting, and they kind of remind me of something that Taiki also uses a little bit. So one of them is to have like kind of like a Kanban board with four
A
categories.
come what's this?
Oh, you know a Trello board?
So
It's
project management.
Yeah, it's like a project management board,
Ah.
but imagine it has four columns, and one column is basically dead, one column is quiet, one column is percolating, which means it's bubbling up, slowly, and it's gonna get
Mm.
popular in the future, and one is basically active. And then
Mm.
what you do is you take all the narratives that are currently out there and you plot them in these categories. So, for instance,
Okay.
in the active one, I would probably plot like the Stargate, the what do you call it, layer zeros and stuff. This is pretty
Mm.
active. Maybe CowSwap is currently active.
Mm.
And then in percolating, he, for instance, puts like a Bitcoin DeFi or something, or layer zeros. Oh, layer zeros I already mentioned. And basically, in quiet, you put something like play to earn is right now pretty quiet, or metaverse, or privacy coins is maybe not super quiet. And then that you do something like solidly or dog tokens or
Mm.
ohm
Okay.
forks, for instance. And in this way, you basically, if you do this, you get a much better view of what to align your attention on, basically, because you don't want to put your attention on things that are currently active. You want to take things that are like percolating and gonna become the news story if you want to make the max gain.
Mm.
So yeah, this is just one way to do this. And another tool that he showed is that he makes a spreadsheet, and then every day he adds one row with that day, and then he,
Mm.
he adds on just one line and it says like the highlights of this day, like what are the top stories of the day, or what are the themes basically. So to give you some example, here's an example, like a screenshot from end of January. So on Sunday, the 30th of January, it was the Dani Sifu, finale basically, where it all broke
Okay.
down. And then the next day, it was Tetranode who got cancelled, and the market is back. And the next day is that the tech stocks are performing crazy, and there was a wormhole hack, etc. So if you keep track of these narratives over time, you see that some, they are active and then they fade back and then they recur. So yeah, basically, I think if you want to spend full time investing in crypto and really be a full time investor, I think this will be a great tool to add a couple of percentage of performance to your portfolio.
And who updates this?
Now he recommends people to do that for themselves, like get your own feeling for what is the the current story of the market and how does it evolve over time, if you want to outperform on the short term.
And does he share his work, or is it more like, okay, this is the concept, and
he shares two examples of his work, but he doesn't, of course, share the live project, live status of his work. Otherwise, he would be giving away all his alpha.
Yeah, but that's the point of content marketing, right?
No, it's a newsletter, so you just write interesting blog posts, just like Kobe.
So you have to pay for it in order to get his thoughts.
No. He's a private investor, and these are his private methods. And he has a blog, and he has a newsletter in which he just writes interesting things.
Okay. So you can't get much alpha out of it besides this is a nice concept that he uses for himself.
The alpha is that you should apply this concept yourself. And,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a lot of work because you basically have to know everything and have an overview about everything in order to make this work, right?
Yeah, but this is why the full-time aspect comes in, right? These are full-time crypto people.
Yeah, okay. I like the idea. I check it out. I just struggle with how could I incorporate this within my life because I'm almost full-time crypto, and it's more like arranging my thoughts in a way which might help me think more clearly, but I need to invest like a huge amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you're not full-time in crypto because you spend a lot of time on other things, right? The company and stuff like this. So this is more for people who have the time to, basically crypto is their source of income, the main source of income, and they can afford to spend time on Twitter all day and invest all day, basically, just like Suzu or like other people, like Tetranode.
Yeah, okay, this makes sense, absolutely. Yeah, cool concept, absolutely. Yeah, cool. Thanks for explaining. I never heard about it.
Sure. Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, do you have another topic that you would like to bring up?
Nah, in the concept of time, let's move on.
Okie dokie. Yeah, then the exciting parts. I do have one topic I would like to talk about, and I might have a question if we can get through it really quick. What about you? Do you have anything?
Not like a real topic. I just want to say, like, for me, what is top of mind right now is yield farming on safe tokens like Bitcoin and ETH. So this for me, this is top of mind and what I'm excited about. So right now, I earned around 14% roughly. I want to see if I can push that higher. Yeah, that's basically the main thing I'm excited about. But there's nothing in particular that's super exciting to me right now. Oh, maybe sorry again. I just was one thing. I noticed it's April, so yeah, there will be probably a land sale for Illuvium. So I guess I'm excited about this to see how the revenue distribution for that will be.
Yeah, that's the first big sale that Illuvium is doing, right?
Yes.
What are you? Okay, let's make this a little bit fun. So, let's say the sale happens. What would be the most bullish outcome from your point of view, and what would be the most bearish point? So we can compare this in a couple of weeks when it's done.
Okay, yeah. To be honest, I didn't give it that much thought yet on how much revenue it would generate. So they're gonna sell different kind of land pieces, and some of the land pieces they will basically give you the opportunity to host a stadium, and the esports events, like the World Championship, will be held in your stadium basically, and you can decide what to do with those rights and stuff, like if you wanna, the streaming rights and all these kind of things. So the thing I'm most excited about, because I won't be participating in the land sale, is to see what those big lens pieces will go for. Um, yeah, so my bullish aspect would be that they would go for yeah, above $1 million per piece. And bearish would be that yeah, they go for like 100K. Yeah,
And who gets the money?
I do. Like everyone, like Illuvium has 100% revenue share, so the money goes 100% back to everyone.
So pro rata.
Sorry? Yeah, it goes pro rata back to everyone. So the company holds ILV
Mm.
tokens, so the company gets some back as well, but they have the same mechanism as the way I get it back.
Mm.
So I also get back a little bit.
Will you get this as an airdrop, or will they do buyback and burn? So your Illuvium that you already hold will just increase in price? How do
No.
they distribute it?
Yeah, so what they're gonna do is you can buy the land thingies with SILV, and or you can buy it with ETH. And if you buy it with ETH, what they will do is they will take your ETH and swap and buy ILV in the market, and then give it back to you, give it back to the stakers.
Mm.
And if you buy with SILV, they will burn it. So it's effectively
Mm.
reducing the total amount of ILV available, because ILV and SILV are zero sum, right? You can only choose one or the other. So
Mm.
it's partially a burn and partially a buyback.
Ah, okay, I understand. So yeah, let's see how this will play out. Sounds absolutely interesting. I've never been a part of such a thing. So yeah, let me know how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, I just needed to let my system real quick for our listeners. So sorry for the noise. Um, yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, would you like to add anything to this or?
No, no. Let's hear about your things that excite you.
Okay, okay, perfect. Yeah. So for me are two things exciting. So the first one is that there was this cash hack going on Solana. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for listeners, real quick, it was basically a $52 million hack, so quite large. In comparison to the Ronin hack, which happened also this week, which was above 600 million, which was the second highest hack crypto all time. So congrats to us, I guess. um, the cash hack was 50 million, but it was on Solana. So yeah, it's just 50 million within a small ecosystem, which is quite hefty. So okay, wait a second. Um, So yeah, this is quite interesting because they are in the process of offering you the people who got hacked some kind of refund. So the hackers they actually refunded some of the people that they drained the money from. They deposited the equivalent in USDC to a smart contract, and it's just like some kind of Robin Hood hack. So they robbed everyone and gave the small people some of the allocation back. So I got a little bit money back, not yet, but I might be able to claim it. But the super weird part about it is that they actually offered to maybe give back more. So they signed the message on Ethereum, and you can take a look at the blockchain of Ethereum. And they actually said, "Okay, guys, we did this because we were trying to make money, obviously, but we don't want to steal from the poor guys. So if you want to go ahead, you can submit a form to us, give us the reasoning why you want your money back, and we may or may not give you your money back," which is super interesting. So I went through the form and I submitted it, and it's you can go into conspiracy theory that it is a hack within the um, Casio Saber ecosystem. It's yeah, you may want to listen to Whale's friend in his last Whale's friend tales episode. He's a He's a Twitcher, and he goes into a little bit of conspiracy theory right there. But I think it's just super interesting. They stole the money. An hour later, they said, "Okay, guys, here is a form to submit to give you your money back." Which hacker does this, right? Which hacker steals 60 million, and an hour later he has this well-written announcement on how you could get your money back?
Yeah, it must
It was
be a
just,
member of the team, if I can speculate, who
yeah,
hacked
it's
it.
just super weird, right?
Yeah, it's really weird. And if you fill out the form, you're basically also giving not only you're also giving the hacker private information about who you are and what your wallet is. So
Yeah, exactly.
they don't only get the money, they get a list of people and their and the docs names and stuff. So you're giving the hacker even more value possibly.
Yeah, so you don't need to give your name, but you need to provide them with an Ethereum address where they could refund you. And you also sign it with your wallet. You sign the message, and I think this leaves how do you call it, a breadcrumb trail, or so basically they could follow you, I guess. Just super weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to fill out a Google form, so you have to use an email address, right? And of course,
Mm.
you can make a new email address for this, but I guess a lot of people won't do it, and they will just use their own
Mm.
email for it. So this is what I mean with it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what information will get submitted. I did it, and maybe this was a mistake. It's yeah, for me it's just an experience. So I'm excited about it because it feels exciting to be in a direct conversation with the hack, which is going on. You are in the real direct conversation. You can take the blockchain, what they say, then you are in the Discord, and you see how they communicate with the hacker. And yeah, because they want to get sued as well. They don't want to get sued, right? So just a
Mhm.
really interesting thing that's going on.
Yeah, and one thing that I also yeah made up out of it is that I was really disappointed by the way Saber handled the whole situation. Like,
Yeah, they went quiet for multiple days.
yeah, it was just really, really bad.
Mm.
I thought, because I'm a big fan of Chris McCann, who is also a big investor in Saber, but also in
Mm.
Albridge, and he mentioned, that the Ian and Dylan, I think Michelenio or something, that they are really solid guys, really smart, really, basically have high integrity and all these kind of things. And showing just the way they handled it was quite poorly, and it makes me quite
Mm.
bearish on investing in Saber in the future. Like I considered even
Mm.
investing in Saber at some point, but now I will think twice before I invest in Saber.
Mm. Yeah, I think in those times you see who are the really progressive guys. So huge kudos to the Casio team. They over communicate a lot. When you're in the Discord, they are doing everything they can because it was basically their token, the cash token is from Casio. So huge kudos. Absolutely amazing job of communicating. But Quarry, almost nothing. Saber, almost nothing. Sunny Aggregator, almost nothing. And they all were affected by this. So yeah, I don't know what this means. I think you see the good teams and the bad teams in those times. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit bearish for Solana, to be honest, because like a Curve would have never, if it just happened to Curve, they would have handled this way better.
Mm, I hope
Whereas,
so.
yeah, I mean, at least from their past behavior.
Mm,
And the Saber Quarry, Saber Quarry Sunny part, it's a big backbone of Solana, basically, of stable
yeah.
swaps. So to see that this backbone is a little bit based on rotten fundamentals is not that
Yeah.
great in my view.
Yeah. This whole ecosystem around Quarry, Saber, Sunny. Just weird. It's just weird if you take a look at it.
Yeah,
They're basically sharing the same TVL, and they make it look like, okay, we all have 500 million in us, so in total it's 1.5 billion on the Solana ecosystem, but it's the same money. So yeah, I'm just think it's yeah, it's weird.
yeah. Their lucky curve isn't on Solana. That's all I would
Yeah,
say. They would probably eat their lunch.
yeah, that's true. In regards to time, we do have a couple more minutes. Do you want to transition to the portfolio challenge and then wrap it up?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure, sure. I'll start. So, yeah, basically this week, uh, like last week, I mentioned I borrowed Orca and I didn't do anything with it. So it
Mm,
was, yeah, I was horribly lazy. This week, I decided to be a little bit less lazy and at least harvest my yield farms and swap them back. And also, I had some,
nice.
I had some USDC, like 200 USDC in my wallet. So I at least, I think I put it in Francium. So
Mm,
yeah, my portfolio is about, I would say it's about 40% or 35% Sol and about 65% USDC. So
mm,
I underperformed Solana this time again. So my portfolio went from 775 to 854.
mm,
And yeah, I increased my portfolio value by about 4.3%, whereas
mm,
Solana went up by 13%. So yeah, I underperformed Solana quite hugely, and I went from
mm,
7.6 Sol to 6.7 Sol, or 6.8
mm.
roughly. So
Almost losing one soul, right?
yeah, yeah. So I did quite poorly in Sol terms, but
Mm,
yeah, I'm still not. I still don't think we are fully out of the woods yet. So
yeah,
yeah, I just want to be. I just want to keep it this way.
yeah. Um, Two comments on this.
Hmm.
Being fully out of the wood, I think um, within the next 6 months, I would be highly surprised that we have a real bullish uptrend because over the next 6 months, I think we have to live with this uncertainty. And then maybe within 6 months, things will get worked out a little bit more from a macro point of view. So the midterm elections are coming up in the US. So you have your bullish catalyst for at least 3 to 6 months. But right now, everything could happen, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
I think Solana just pumped over the last 48 hours because OpenSea announced that they will expand into Solana. So this is, I think, one of the big reasons why Solana pumped.
Ah, good point.
In anticipation for OpenSea is big, Solana will get integrated. So let's front run the NFT investors, basically. This is the theory behind it. And yeah, but for my portfolio, I managed to gain roughly $30. So I went from 490 to 520. I underperformed Soul as well. You lost almost one soul, and I lost half a soul. It's due to the fact that I am a little bit more risk on. So Solana was the highest performer in the last week, but I'm roughly sitting in yeah, what is it? 20% BTC, 20% ETH, and 60% Solana. So BTC underperformed Solana, and ETH underperformed Solana. So in total, I underperformed Solana, but in general, I lost just 1.8% against Solana, and you lost a little bit more. So yeah, I think Solana was the outperformer the last week, and I'm not quite sure if it will be the outperformer of the next week. I think the OpenSea pump will get it's basically done. So this is a catalyst that you couldn't bet on, but I would be highly surprised that this pump continues because I think it was mainly around those this catalyst which just came up. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if I would change anything. So for my personal portfolio, I feel quite comfortable having almost a try crypto based out of Solana, ETH, and BTC. It's the risk on version of try crypto. And yeah, for you, my friend, I think you are in a much more nuanced position because you are 65% roughly, you said risk off with stablecoins and
Hmm.
roughly 35% risk on with Solana, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How do you think about the
Yeah.
upcoming weeks? Would you like to change anything, or will you just borrow Orca and don't deposit it?
So, like I kind of want to do two things. So, on the one hand, I kind of want to remove the part of the USDC so that it becomes 50-50 and that I can
Mm,
use perfectly, a 50-50 Sol USDC pair and I can just farm with it. So
mm,
I kind of want to do this on the one hand because it's a way to maximize my yield and it's also a way to maximize my brain space so I don't have to think about multiple
yeah,
investments.
yeah.
But on the other hand, um, yeah, is it right now after a pump? Is that really the best time to go, heavier in the Sol in Sol terms? So this is on the one hand, I'm doubting about this, and on the other part, I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm 35% Solana. Why not just go 100% stables, and then I can just farm stables, and then I have a totally different type of portfolio. So I'm like neither in both things. So yeah, yeah, I'm not really sure really sure how to deal with the situation basically.
I can tell you what I would do if I were you.
Hmm.
So I personally feel really comfortable in having this try crypto risk on. If I were you, I would do the following. I would go 50-50, like you said, because I think you win in both situations. If Solana goes up, your portfolio increases, and if Solana goes down, you're basically dollar cost averaging into Solana, and this would be fun for you as well. Because in an AMM, you have this constant, so x times y equals k, right? We all know this. So I think for you, I wouldn't go 100% in stables because I think this would be a bet that couldn't work out so good for you because the market could go up as well a little bit more, right? We have no
Hmm.
idea.
Hmm.
But if you want to bet on 100% risk on or 100% risk off, this wouldn't feel that good. And if you want to have the let's say the strategy of the least regret, I would phrase it like this. I would go 50-50 and just yield farm with it and yeah, let the market play out however it wants to play out. And yeah, you're basically dollar cost averaging into Sol if the prices go down, and if the prices go up, you have at least a little bit of upside.
Yeah, I think this is a great option. Another thing that I was thinking, Patrick, when you're talking about try crypto, what I could also do is instead of the USDC part, go ETH Sol, and then put it in Orca. You get around 22% APR. I mean,
Hmm.
22% is not great, of course, but considering that if you go fully like 50% ETH, 50% Sol, your whole
Hmm.
portfolio, and you just put it in there, it's kind of like a low hassle
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah, great idea as
So this
well.
is also a nice option.
Great idea. I like it.
Cool. And what about you?
I would just stay in my positions. I feel comfortable. I'm yield farming with my Solana, ETH, and BTC in Friction, Chest, and Chest Finance and Katana. I feel comfortable, and yeah, I just is I love seeing week after week, seeing my Sol, ETH, and BTC allocation increase because those vaults make most of the times money. So it feels good, and I feel at ease because I think, yeah, I like to being a little bit more risk on right now. So yeah, I would just stick to my bets, I guess.
Cool.
Okie dokie. Yeah, do you want to wrap it up?
Yes, let's wrap it up.
Okie dokie. Yeah, folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please, quick reminder at the end. Please take a look at the description. Please upvote for us on the Riptide Hackathon. This would mean the world to us. Please come into our Discord, and also if you want, please upvote for Anatoly Cat the project. I think it's quite nice, and you also support the good guys within the Icelandic system. And yeah, see you next week. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.